So good evening everybody, myself Acharya Vishvendra. I was just discussing about the quantum entanglement, in which I was discussing about the mind itself. So regarding mind, if we think in this way, that just focus on a human body, so we can certainly say that there are two aspects concerned with the human body. One is the physical dimension and another is the metaphysical dimension. Physical dimension means which can be interpreted by the five senses of brain. That is what is the meaning of physicality. So if we compare the concept of human mind, that any human is composed of the physical dimensions and the metaphysical dimensions. Obviously, the physical dimensions are those which are verified by the five senses. Because physicality means something which you can perceive, which you can feel, touch, smell, taste and see through the five senses. And metaphysical means beyond the five sense or six sense plus things. And the first tool to feel the sixth sense is the mind itself. And then we have soul, we have so many things, but mind starts from fifth sense onwards, or it's a sense of perception which is beyond the fifth sense. Now out of five senses, light speed of light is fastest, and it is assumed to be the fastest possible speed in life, which is exactly 299, 792, 458 meter per second, which we approximately call as 3 into 10 is to power 8 meter per second. It's the speed of light in vacuum, which is the highest possible speed possible for anything, any information to be transferred through space-time. But the question is that, does there exist something beyond the space-time? Because this speed is limited to the space-time. But does there exist something beyond the space-time? Because if we focus on the very instant of creation of the universe, suppose this was the instant when universe was created, and it refers to the Big Bang or maybe the singularity. So the entire space-time curve started after singularity and the explosion known as the Big Bang. So the question is, what was there before the Big Bang? Was there some mysterious dark energy or the dark matter or something which created everything? As we know that the universe itself is composed mostly of dark energy and dark matter. And whatever we see, interpret by the five senses, is a minuscule as compared to what exists. So if there exists something beyond the space-time curve, then that using something has no limits of speed. Or you can say that you don't need to travel, the concept of time does not exist over there, because it is beyond the space-time. So the speed limitation or the light can affect only the events which are within the domain of time. But there is something which is beyond time. Time has no impact on that. For example, human mind. Human mind itself, or the metaphysical dimension itself, is not bounded by any physical laws. You cannot trap that within the belief system or within any sort of interaction between the matter and energy. It's beyond any controlling mechanism. And which is why only some people have access, the capability to think beyond out of the entire space-time curve. So let me to elaborate this thing in a more scientific perspective. We say that everything which exists is within the space-time fabric. Let's say this is the space-time fabric. It contains everything. The entire universe, everything is in that space-time curve. And the thing which we call as light is the fluctuation of electromagnetic fields. An impulse is created, a disturbance is created in the space-time curve. And this space-time curve, or the fabric of the space-time curve, it leads to electromagnetic fields. And that electromagnetic field can apply force, and that force can create energy, and that energy is the energy which we see in the light or any electromagnetic wave. So this is one of the concept of the space-time curve. But does there exist something beyond the space-time curve itself? For example, just take example of you. Who is thinking that there is a space-time curve? Who is visualizing that there is a space-time curve? And certainly that something is beyond the space-time curve, because if you are within the space-time curve, you cannot think about it. For seeing anything about anything, you need to be different from that thing. So at the level of perception or at the psychological level, we can feel that within us there are certain dimensions which are beyond space-time curve. Going into more depth, just visualize your life. Till now you must have felt, if your brain has developed above a certain physical level, that there is something in you which is independent of time, which was there in the same position when you were 5 years old, when you were an infant, when you were in the womb, and when you were 15 years old, and certainly when you will die, there is something inside you which is not affected by the movement, by the changes in the space-time curve, or there are certain static things which are not affected by anything. So that something is beyond the rules of the space-time curve. And I think that quantum entanglement is related to that very thing, which does not require a space-time curve for its working. So I think quantum entanglement points to the existence of things beyond the space-time curve. And in more depth, it is in fact the source of the space-time curve, that from where the space-time curve originated. It is said that it originated from nowhere, but it's quite illogical. Nothing come out of nothing. If there is